In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still out. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Have you started watching Jailbirds on Netflix
No,
yet?
I haven't.
Have you
Good?
seen it?
No, I haven't.
It's great.
Thank you for leading into the show with the title of this podcast, though. Thank you. I appreciate that. You should do that more often.
Oh, I should. It's
should.
clever. This is the
It
Have
is
You
clever.
Seen It podcast.
If you haven't figured that
But
out yet.
Jailbirds,
I have
you don't
not,
know anything
no.
about it?
Uh-uh.
It's a new Netflix show. It's just a documentary about women in the Sacramento jail, like prison.
Ooh, okay.
It's good, man.
Serving
it's
like some
good.
serious time.
Some of them are up for some shit. It's Sacramento, so it's the Florida of California.
Right, yes.
Let's not forget about that.
No.
It's,
No, I don't think anyone has forgotten of that.
But yeah, dude, some of them get out. Some of them are serving some hefty, some heavy shit. Some of them some known for the sort of murder and
Right,
shit.
accessory to
But
murder
it's
and
hilarious,
stuff.
dude. They do this thing where they talk through the toilets. So the entire jail is a tower in Sacramento.
I saw a meme on something about
Yeah, everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, they were showing that.
Yeah, so they figured out jail fucking Einstein. I don't know who this guy was, but someone figured out that you scoop all the water out of the toilets. They all run on one pipe, so you can talk through. So the girls are talking to the guys who you're not supposed to talk to at all.
Right, of course.
So you get this whole kind of fucking party line going. You got everyone in the tower talking, and they're passing notes. They're passing drugs through the toilets.
How are they passing drugs?
Bro,
That is an intricate
I'm glad
system.
you asked.
Yes, thank you.
They
Please
tie.
explain.
They have. So they undo shirts and make them strings. They tie strings. They tie spoons to the string like a grappling hook, like 6
Okay.
inches apart. They flush that down the toilet. Then someone flushes theirs down the toilet. 2 strings get tangled up. You put something on the end of that. You put that through. You got chips. They're doing. They call them kites. Those are notes. Passing notes. People are having full relationships
Wow.
through the toilets.
That is incredible.
It's incredible. They're passing drugs. Drugs is a big problem. Passing heroin down through the toilets.
So how pissed are these prisoners now that all these rights have been revoked because now they know?
Well,
that
no,
they're
they
doing
can't stop
this?
it. There's
Oh,
no
they
way to
can't
stop
stop
it.
it.
There's no way to
Oh.
stop because you can't. Because there's no cameras in the room. You can't have cameras in the room.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So there's no way to stop it. But in one episode, like 3 episodes in, the shitters end up getting clogged up.
Oh.
Yeah, shit water everywhere. And that's the thing when you're
Disgusting.
passing through all kinds of...
Right.
When you're riding the rails, when you're going through the pipes, that's the...
You got to make sure those chip bags don't get
It's
open a little
crazy,
bit
man,
either.
the
That's
stuff they do.
gross.
But there's a ton of drama and some fights too. There's something about
Oh, nothing like a toilet yelling fight, right?
oh
Am I
yeah,
right?
dude. And if you're talking on the toilet with someone else's like boyfriend or whatever, they call it something like an OG or something. But it gets drama, gets crazy. Yeah, they're making
So it turns
Pruno
into
prison
a
wine.
reality show.
It's good,
essentially.
dude. It's
Yeah.
good. There's a lot of drama, but it's real. I mean, it's all real.
Well, of course.
It's
yeah,
Sacramento,
yeah.
so they couldn't have picked.
They can't fake anything.
No, they couldn't have picked
No.
a better spot for it. People are coming in constantly. I mean, the next one might be in New Jersey or something. That'd probably be a good area. You know, you're going to see a lot of shit there.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, Jailbirds. If you haven't watched it, check it out. I burned in. There's like 6 episodes, but they're an hour long.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's worth it, man. If you like seeing women locked up, getting all kinds of... And they're all dating. They all got girlfriends.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
That's the
bro.
way it works.
Yeah. It's some prison romance for sure.
Oh, yeah. It can be
A couple
Bruin.
ladies get married up in there.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. They
That's
let them get
awesome.
married. Can't
Nothing
touch.
like
Can't do
finding-
anything.
Oh, you were, of course.
When they get married, they say, "Okay, get the fuck out." They separate up.
Get-
And actually, they end up they end up sending one of the ladies to a different jail. Like when they get married,
Oh, that's sad.
it's very dramatic. It's very, very dramatic.
Especially if you're serving life, you go, "What the hell was that for?"
Yeah,
Why did
and
he
one of
just
the
get married?
ladies might be serving life.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
They do a disclaimer every time that these ladies aren't guilty yet, because it's jail.
right.
Jail's when you're waiting trial. It's not prison. They're all waiting to go to prison.
That's true.
But some of these women, man, you see them and it's like,
But how long are most of them in this jail?
well, if your sentence is short, you'll just spend your sentence in the jail. So if you did
okay.
something, you'll spend like 160 days in
Yeah.
jail. You'll do that instead of going to prison. So some of them have been in there for a while, and some of them are repeat offenders. So they're like jail celebrities. They're coming in, they're high fiving. They got like their own cell picked out and everything. They know all the guards and shit. It's not that bad. Some of them people are. I mean, some of the women are like, this is my life. They're
This
dealing
is
with
a pretty
it.
good life.
They're
I mean, all
dealing with
things
it, yeah.
considering. I mean,
Couple ladies
room
get
and
jumped.
board.
Couple ladies get jumped.
That's unfortunate. Not as good.
So there is some. It is at the end of the day, it is prison.
With anything in life, there is some dangers. That come with the territory. So
You know who else is very dangerous?
who's that?
Jonathan Wick.
That man.
Jonathan Wick the third.
The most dangerous man on the face of the planet. He might be able to take out Chuck Norris at this point.
Yeah, it's gonna be close for
It's
sure.
gonna be real close.
Imagine him fighting. Oh, it wouldn't even be close. Him fighting Tom Cruise from Mission Impossible. One, Tom is old at this point. We saw
Yes.
him in the last movie. John's old too, but I think it would be. I think John would just go through him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I really do. And if anyone works harder at his craft, it's John Wick.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's Keanu Reeves, the man himself, the
Yeah.
holy god.
And we got to talk about how consistent this franchise has really became.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's pretty awesome.
it's the best action franchise of the last decade.
Oh, unquestionably.
I mean,
unquestionably.
it kind of came out of nowhere. You've been Mason. First let's talk about it. We're here to review John Wick 3,
Right.
Chapter 3, Parabellum, directed by Chad Stahelski. He's the stuntman. You probably know of him by now.
The great story with the Matrix.
He was the stuntman of The Matrix. He did all that. Now he's the coordinator and he's the director, and it's really a come-up story. But he's directing it. It stars your boy Keanu Reeves, the immortal. He doesn't age.
He does not. It's not a trait of his.
It's it's alarming at this point.
It's a little concerning. Let's say it's
Because I don't know what kind of magic he's doing to stay so young. He's 54,
That is incredible.
and he did probably about 90% of his stunts in this. He did.
Yeah, I
it's
heard he
crazy.
did. No, I
yeah,
heard
he
he
did.
did,
He was
yeah.
getting his ass kicked.
Well, I watched all the behind the scenes footage of this stuff. I mean, dude, they were working day and night on this. It seemed like.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And to
for
be able to
sure.
put a movie out, like one thing I kept watching, I was like, dude, there's so much stunt work throughout this whole film, and they got it done in what, about 2 years?
Well, that's what this movie is. I was thinking about that too, and watching it, and I'm gonna go back and watch it again because
Yes,
one is
I'm gonna
not
go
enough.
too.
One
No,
is
it's
not enough.
not.
But it's like watching I don't want to be cheesy and say it's like watching a ballet, but that's what it's like watching musical theater.
Oh, exactly.
That's choreographed. That's what you're going and watching.
Well, and
it's
that's the
it's a
thing,
dance.
like,
That's what it is. Yeah.
How many shots of these were one continuous wide shot?
Yeah. And how
of
many
just
hours
fighting.
went into training to get
gosh.
that 1 5-minute scene?
And all the timing as well.
They must have done that 80 times.
Yeah,
I
at
mean,
least.
it's
You
incredible.
got to think about day in, day out. These guys are working 14, 15-hour days putting this kind of stuff together. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
not easy work. It's tough,
no.
tough.
No, it's brutal.
work.
Yeah.
Under the lights, under the stress. You got to get it right. It's a film. Like, dude, they nail it.
And they do. They nail. And whatever you're going in to see this movie, if you're in it for the fighting, if you're in it for the guns, they are doing it exactly right. Everything they do it exactly right. To where if you're a gun nut, then even everything's gonna be correct. The reloading and everything, it's gonna be exactly correct. Yeah.
And you can essentially count shots in this because he's always taking other people's weapons. It's always a defense
Oh, yeah.
mechanism to take
Yeah.
it. So he's always got rounds.
And you
It
can count the
always makes
reloads,
sense.
and he's
Yeah.
always reloading, and he's reloading exactly how a Navy SEAL would reload. He's holding the gun. I mean, it's down to the insane detail. Yeah.
I heard from, and I can't remember who said it, but he was like a high up military guy as far as like celebrity wise, and he was saying that it was like the top 3 most accurate portrayals of how like you move in for positioning.
Well,
and
it's
stuff
probably
like
the guy that he was trained by, because
Yeah.
he's trained by this Navy SEAL, and I can't remember his name, but he trains a bunch of kind of action guys. But he he trained for like 2 years for this one with that guy. I mean, just doing the
then that's probably who it was.
That's probably who it was. Yeah, it's some Navy SEAL guy, but that's exactly right. I mean, and that it pays off. Those details pay off.
It totally does, man.
That's what you want to see. You don't.
And you're able to sustain some disbelief in some of the minor things in the plot. You know what I mean? Of these movies. And I mean, plot-wise, they do a pretty darn good job considering all the action and stuff, because it can get really muted. But I'm just mean like the real little things.
Oh, yeah. And considering how thin the plot is, I mean, the story is great for how little plot there is. It's a very simple story.
Especially John Wick.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot more. You're going to hear a lot more sounds of guns reloading and guns shooting off than you're going to hear John talking.
Yeah, exactly. He's a man of few
You're going to know
words.
the sound of a bullet more than you're going to know the sound of John's voice for sure. But and that's another thing. You got to give it to the sound people. I went and saw this, I think I saw this one in IMAX in Regal, and the guns going off sound like it was just an explosion in my ear every goddamn time.
See, and that's
it's
why,
amazing.
Yeah, I want to go to an Adobe Atmos. I want to see this in Adobe Atmos.
Because when you're in it, that sound editing and everything is amazing. It's just an explosion in your ear every time a gun goes off.
See, that's awesome.
Well, what is this one about? Super assassin John Wick is on the run after killing a member of the International Assassins Guild, and with a $14 million price tag on his head, he is the target of a hitman and women everywhere, because there is women in this film.
Yes.
Strong women. Strong female leads that we can all get behind.
Very, very surprised not to see Halle Berry as much as the trailers led me to believe.
I agree,
I was very shocked.
But I love her scenes in it.
Yeah, but they are great. Yeah.
Exactly, they're great. Yeah, it made it seem like she was like
and she finally gets
billed
to be
second in the cast, but she's in maybe 1/3 of the film.
Yeah, I'd say about a third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mason, you're new to these films. You had a crash course. You just watched all of them.
I watched all 3 of them this week, and I bought them too. I bought 1 and 2, and I am so glad I did, because this. You know me, I don't rewatch movies very often, but as far as like the choreography and stuff, like I will rewatch this many, many times. This will be like a cool, classic, fun movie for me to just throw on and watch.
And it's one of those where you can go and you can show your brain off, but it's still so good. The story's still good, the acting's amazing, and it's just super fun. All of them are super fun.
Yeah.
These are the kind of movies you think when you think of going to see a summer movie. Just a movie that's you can just have fun at.
Yes.
Movie that you don't really, I mean, there's no real big plot twist in any of these. But but they all keep their quality. Okay?
They do.
All 3 of them.
And they do a good job even in the simplicity of world building. You know, there's not a ton on it, but there's enough to keep you intrigued. Like, hey, what is this? And they kind of answer a new question every movie.
Exactly.
And that's what's cool.
Yeah. And we've talked about that before, but we talked about that before off mic. But yeah, the world building. This is a movie you just want to dive into.
Yeah,
I want to read books about it. I want to read comic books. I want to see more and more because the world is so awesome. This world of assassins, and like you said, every one we get more and more, and it's fan service. It's just people. It's just the people making the movie. Making a movie that people want to see.
Yes.
Why is that so difficult?
I don't know.
Why can't everyone do that? This is a movie that everyone wants to see. I mean, but it gets into it. We get some more answers. We get a little more backstory to John, but it opens up. What does it open up? Well, the second one ends with Ian McShane, who plays Winston.
Yes.
It ends with giving him, 6 hours?
No, 1 hour.
1 hour?
1 hour. You have 1 hour to get out of Dodge.
So he's excommunicado.
Excommunicado. And that's never good.
You don't want to be excommunicado, because that's all fucking rules out the window, and they say kill this guy no matter what.
No matter what,
unless
at any cost.
It's on the Continental grounds.
Right.
Do
still
not kill anyone in the Continental
grounds. Do
not.
That is a mistake you do not want to make.
Most of the time, they won't even give you an hour. They'll just shoot you right there.
And they did that to that chick in the first one.
Yeah.
They're like, your rights have officially been revoked. Boom.
And that's a big part is Winston is like, he's friends with John. So he gives him an hour.
Yep. Which
is not what you're supposed to do.
No, that's the worst idea.
It's not up to code. So it immediately sets off and he's struggling. It's hours. It's literally hours after the second one. So he just went through the craziest day ever of the second movie.
Well, it's less than an hour. It's literally less than an hour from number.
No,
the
it
end of
it
two.
ends exact. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It ends exactly after the second one. It literally catches up him stumbling down the street where it ends,
Yep.
and he's making his way to a library. And in the library, and that's kind of first shot. And let's just talk about the set pieces and the use of color and everything is amazing.
Every single movie has been
the
awesome.
New York backdrop with the bright colors and everything, the different sets of colors and the contrast in it. It's amazing. It's a really beautiful film.
It
And
really
you
is
usually
cool.
don't get that in an action movie.
No.
I mean, it's usually you're substituting some stuff. But yeah, he goes to the library, finds a library book, and it's got all kinds of shit in it.
It's got a crucifix,
It's got a crucifix, a
got a
picture of his gal.
a picture of his gal, and it's got the marker.
Yeah, the marker.
Yes.
And I was freaking out at this part. And I was the only one who was freaking out because who comes and attacks him?
It looked like the Hulk's son.
That is Boban Marjanovic from the 76ers, a current basketball player.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, so I was freaking out
That's
when I
pretty
saw him. And I
cool.
was the only, and I knew immediately because he's kind of, well, for one, he's the largest active NBA player right now. He's 7'4".
What's his name?
Boban Marjanovic.
Bob. Oh yeah, there he is.
Boba. Everyone calls him just Boban.
Yeah, that's a big boy. Holy crap.
Big boy. And he did a good job. His acting was amazing
I thought
for
it
an
was
NBA
good.
player.
Yeah. I thought he was an actual actor.
You don't, I know, man. You don't
So
know
that's
how
pretty good.
people on Reddit were freaking out. I had no idea he was
Why
in
were
this.
they giving him shit?
Well, no, because he just popped up out of nowhere. Like, when did he
yeah.
even get the fucking time?
I know.
The 76ers did pretty good this year. They went to the second round. So, I mean,
Ooh. Yeah, that's right. They did.
and they love him, though. Everyone loves him. He's just this big. He's giant. He's not super great. But, man, he moved well in this.
Yeah, he did.
And that's the first fight scene we get. It's kind of...
Funny.
It's funny because it's a giant man.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of... if you've ever seen Bruce Lee's Game of Death, he fights Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And I
Are
don't
you
know if this
kidding
was
me?
a callback to that, but it made me exactly think
Yeah.
of that. Is he fights another, and it's so bizarre seeing Bruce Lee like 5'4".
Maybe they did that on purpose then.
That's what I think, because I
Yeah.
mean,
'Cause,
obviously
I mean,
these guys
inspiration,
were influenced.
obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's Bruce Lee. I mean, those movies were revolutionary.
Oh,
you
for
know,
sure, absolutely,
for
and
action.
especially with action guys. So I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's not just a coincidence. But yeah, he fights him and he kills him with a book, and it's an awesome start.
Awesome.
Gets
scene.
stabbed too with a big old knife.
He does right here, right in the old neck.
And it's like 12 minutes before the hour up.
Mhm.
So Boban, who I can't remember what his name is in this. But Boban, he's starting a little early.
Ernest.
Ernest, yeah. He's
Mhm.
like he says for 14 million you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yep.
He's like, well, and I love the line he says, well, you can't use it if you're dead. That 14 million, because
You can't.
no, you can't.
You can't.
And if you're going against John Wick, you
The
better
odds
carry
are
more
not
than a
good.
knife.
Yes. Yeah.
A gun usually is not going to even do it for you.
No.
But it's a great fight scene, and he kills him with a book. And if anyone can kill anyone with a book, it's John Wick.
Yeah.
He's going to kill you with anything.
Definitely.
You think you're in a library. You think you're sitting there going to be safer.
He killed 3 men
Yeah.
with a pencil.
He's the fucking... Oh, what do they call him? The Babadook? Or what?
Babadook. The
No, it's not the
boogeyman.
Babadook.
No, it's not the Babadook.
The
it's,
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. The boogeyman. He's the Baba Yaga.
No, he's the one we sent to kill the fucking
Yeah.
boogeyman.
That guy's such a great villain.
Yeah, I love the dialogue too. It's so simple. It's very tropey, but it works because
Yeah,
they do a
absolutely,
great
yeah.
job with it.
It's
you
very
know?
dramatic, but
Yeah,
it's
but
funny
it's
too.
exactly
and
what you
And it
want.
never takes itself too serious. And we get
Exactly
that
my
with the
point.
bad guy in this with Zero, that guy. I thought he did such a good job playing that bad guy, where he wasn't just the typical brooding muscle or whatever,
Right.
where he's one dimensional. That guy was hilarious with how much he admired John.
that
And
was
how much
awesome.
he kept bringing
yeah.
up, and how glad he was to fight him and everything, and how they kept running into each other, and how. And I laughed so hard at the part where they were jumping around, but they go to the fucking the hotel, and he sits right next to him.
Yeah,
And then
right? He's like,
seconds before the
he just gets up.
yeah, he
sits
just has
in the other
no
chair.
idea, but he's just happy to be there.
He is.
He's his
happy.
hero.
I understand. It's like playing against MJ. You know.
That's
It's a
true.
hero.
But so he gets the marker, he gets all those things, kills Boban, big guy in the fucking library. he stumbles out, and then he goes. But during this whole thing, which is I always love, but it's been done in a couple of movies, is they're flashing back to like the headquarters of,
Yes.
and they're making
Very old school headquarters.
excommunicado 2 minutes, excommunicado 1 minute, and it's
And everyone, of course, is dramatically watching.
yeah, and it's really cool because when he's stumbling through the city, you're not sure who's a fucking hitman because people are. It's
And
obvious
we saw
people
that
are
Ernest
looking at.
already started early, so
Yeah,
what's
and
to
we
say
get
some
the
of these
two shinobis, the ninjas. He walks right past them too, so everyone's fucking on it. 14 million. That's a big.
it's a lot of money.
That's a big deal. Yeah, you think I honestly think it's worth a little more. He's a killing
I
tornado.
know. I would say like at least 25. I think 25.
Have you
is
seen this
fitting.
guy?
Yeah.
You gotta up that.
If he was on seriously, like you got to think about this. What's your net worth? Okay, let's say probably you're sitting about 250 mil as a bad guy in this world.
If you're good.
So at least putting 10% of your stake out there to get a guy like this to not
Yeah.
kill you, I
Yeah.
think is worth it.
Yeah, because
I'd be putting a $25 million hit.
and
out.
you've seen and you know that he's killed
Scores of
ton
people.
of really good
Yeah.
hitmen too.
Right.
So I mean, is it even worth it? You gotta weigh the options. You gotta just hope. What I would do is just follow him around and just wait till he's in a real big battle.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
take that shot.
Take it.
Take
yep.
that shot. And if you don't make it, get the fuck out of there.
Just go,
Don't go hand to hand.
No.
God no.
Never a good idea with John.
Yeah, just keep bouncing around, taking shots. And eventually, he's gotta take a shit or something.
He's got to do something human.
He's gotta sleep. You gotta be able to stab him in the sleep.
I know that was one thing I kept thinking throughout this whole fucking movie, dude. Because like fight scene after fight scene, they were great, awesome, not complaining at all. But every time I was like, "Jeez, he's got to be tired."
Oh, dude. Well,
You know
he
what I
does,
mean?
but by the end, he
But-
looks pretty damn
know.
ragged.
But it's like by the time he's like done his fourth
Yeah.
major fight and he's walking up the stairs,
Well, you gotta
and then he's
think
doing another fight. And I'm like,
He had to
"Holy
have
crap."
slept on the plane too.
Yeah.
So there's got to be some kind of. It's not round right. So
Yeah,
he's got to have slept sometime.
No, but I just mean as a whole, he is
Oh, yeah.
tattered and
Well, he's
beaten.
going days for sure.
Yeah.
He's going days.
It's tough.
Oh
Tough
yeah.
world.
And let's face it, towards the end, looks like he can barely stand.
Yeah.
And he does. Yeah. Well, we'll get into it. But he gets the medallion, and he stumbles back, and and again, he keeps building on the world, and we kind of get the first insight of his upbringing. He goes back to a character called the Director, and it's played by Angelica Houston. She's an amazing actress, and this movie has so many good people in it. And who wouldn't want to be in this movie?
Oh, I don't know what crazy
Yeah.
person would not want to be.
But he goes, and it's what do they call the cross? It's a ticket.
The ticket, yes.
It's a ticket, yeah.
Yep.
And he's going to punch his ticket or use his ticket, right?
Mhm.
So he goes back home, talks to the director. She calls him, what does she call him? Jardani?
Jardani.
That was his name, some weird Russian name.
Yes.
That's kind of the first we hear about that. But and it's cool because he goes through the building, and it's like an entire building of them training. They're training ballet, but then they're also training like
men.
fucking judo and doing throws and shit like that.
Well, and I think the girls were doing ballet. I think they just switched. I think both of them were in I mean, maybe not necessarily ballet, but I think the girls learned ballet for a reason.
Oh yeah, for
Because
sure.
they were going to be assassins one day, too.
Yeah, and ballet is
Jeez, that one scene when that girl just rips off her toenail.
toenail. Yeah,
Nice.
man, that was awesome.
I'm like, what a badass. Just
But
didn't
yeah.
even flinch either. She just ripped it off.
I know, and that whole thing is so cool. That fucking school of assassins
Mm-hmm.
were like, and because it showed one guy was doing ballet also, so maybe
Yeah.
they just all did. I mean, ballet is tough to do, so I mean,
Fuck
if you're
yeah,
gonna be
it is.
assassin, do
Yeah.
ballet. It's gonna train you.
Yeah, ballet's no joke. That is.
And they all got the cool fucking like Russian gangster tattoos,
Of course,
like the
they all
Russian
have
mafia tattoos.
Yeah, and they're all the same too.
Yeah.
The cross on the right arm and then the back piece.
Yeah, because they all, and that's what she does, and her name is the Director. And he says it's time for his ticket to be punched, or his ticket to be claimed, or whatever. And they
And
say,
that's-
once you're out, you're out.
Yep.
And that's his ticket is he wants to go somewhere. And the
He
whole
wants to go to Morocco.
wants to go to Morocco, and literally the entire premise of the movie is he just wants to go and plead to the top guy to try to get him off the list. That's the entire plot.
Yes. That's you're
That's
right.
the entire
That's
thing.
it.
Yeah, it's very, very simple, but it's just enough plot to where the action doesn't get boring or mundane. So it's
No.
just enough plot to keep you in it.
Yep.
And it's perfect. Yeah, it's just enough. I mean, it doesn't.
And man, I thought the action scenes were awesome. I really did.
They were
for
so
these.
fucking good. Yeah.
Especially that knife scene. That was probably my favorite for the longevity of that entire fight sequence. When they're throwing the knives and they're breaking the shelves and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
That was awesome. When the Asian assassins were after him.
we got to talk about that knife scene. Is probably the most realistic knife scene because
Ever.
one, not every knife landed.
Nope.
There's a few times when they're just hitting off each other's heads, and that's the only time I've ever seen that in a movie.
But it's very true.
Oh,
even
yeah,
if
dude.
Even if the knives are weighted, sometimes they just don't
They're
stick.
very hard. It's very difficult to throw a knife.
Very.
It is.
Yeah.
And especially when they're like pocket knives.
Yeah,
he was
they were all
throwing.
different shapes and stuff too.
But once he started getting down, he started getting it out. But I love that little detail of him not. And they were both. Even the other guy wasn't landing every knife either. But yeah. That was a really good fight. And that realization that they're in a room full of fucking weapons. When they're just fighting, they're like, oh, shit, yeah.
And those are the good moments, too, in that movie where, again, they don't take themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
Like with that, or like, and we'll talk about it later, but just to bring it up, like the two students.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, too, where like that whole sequence, they never take themselves too serious. And that's what's good about this movie. It takes itself serious.
Yeah.
But it's not to the point where it's like, you know what I mean? Like, dark serious.
It's just more realistic because that's how people would act. I mean, even if you're an assassin, you're not a robot.
No.
You're still
you still
human.
have emotion. You still joke around.
It's
a
still
job to you.
ridiculous. I mean, it's still you're in a very ridiculous line of work, and this guy is throwing knives at you. So I mean, there's gonna be ridiculous moments.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're human, so they're gonna do human stuff, and that's exactly what it makes. It makes it seem more real, more grounded. I think.
Grounded is a good word.
Where in some action movies, the main character or even everyone is just perfect. Everyone's getting knocked down with one hit. They're not making any mistakes. Where in this one, you can see John's tired and he's making mistakes. And
And you see that fatigue to start to wear on him too, where he is making mistakes.
And it's just he just has more heart than anyone. He just keeps going. He just wants it more.
He's more focused than any other man.
That's the problem you got. I know. Someone with a drive. But so she punches his ticket, and to get your ticket, you got to get branded, which is unfortunate. And they brand you with a cool upside down cross. It's fucking metal.
Shit.
Yeah.
And man, people were freaking out in the theater about that. Out of all the things to freak out about,
Really?
that was the one they were
toenail
freaking
wasn't?
out. No. Well, no, there were a few disgruntled. Ooh.
Yeah.
But the burning was, people were really freaking out about the branding, and I'm like, that's the least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Very
weird. He took it like a champ.
He did, definitely. Of course he does.
But
It's John Wick.
Yeah. We didn't talk about before he goes into the theater, they like make him take off everything and the belt too.
And the belt.
We forgot about that. Was pretty funny. He's like, I'll be seeing you again. But because he's dangerous with that belt.
He is.
You got to take everything from this guy.
You do everything.
You got to strip
everything
him
is a weapon.
Yeah. I'd take his shoes, to be honest. I'd be afraid he'd be flinging those things at my
Throwing
face.
those around. Not good.
But
punches you in the throat with them.
Yeah, if he can kill you with a book, he can definitely kill you with a shoe.
Definitely. Yeah.
But so they punch his ticket, and he ends up flying out of there, or he ends up going to Morocco, Casablanca, I think it is.
Yeah, Casablanca.
Yeah. Well, could you have a better setting?
No, I don't think so.
And at this time, the adjudicator is making her rounds. Right?
And man, she means business.
She was good.
She was.
I'm glad. I really was thinking we were going to get a fight between her and John. And I'm kind of glad they didn't do it. I mean, because there's no reason that she would be a super fighter. I mean, she's just a super...
No, she's just
very smart.
Yeah.
She just moved her up through the ranks. So, I mean, I'm glad that they didn't... Because at that point, to add another fight in, I mean, it'd be just long. It'd be long. So I'm glad that they didn't. Or maybe even they're building up to, maybe we'll get a fight.
And in my opinion, it's better world building. Because, like, these guys are the assassins, but then they are the judiciary.
Yeah, there's higher up. Yeah, there's not...
Yeah, there's like a hierarchy there.
Where it's not everyone's a super assassin. You got to think there's some kind of specialty of...
of course.
Just
of everyone.
Yeah. But, we forgot to say John, he goes to the doctor before this. He stumbles into a mob doctor or whatever.
Well, yeah, this is right before the time was up.
Yeah, this is right before... Yeah, we forgot to talk about it, but it's... he stumbles in, and I like that scene where he had to shoot the guy that helped him just because he knew.
Oh, wait, one might not be nice. Right here, but don't hit my artery. Boom, shoots him again.
Yeah, and
that was a great scene. That was
a
funny.
good scene, yeah.
They might not believe one.
I know, and it's so funny because he's such a good shot, but he just immediately shoots him. But so that happens, and he goes to Morocco. The Judicature is going. She's kind of pissed at Winston, right? She goes to Winston. She says that he has 7 days to vacate.
Yep.
You're fucking out.
Because he gave John Wick an hour
And it's the high table.
instead of just killing him.
The high table is the people that run everything.
Yeah.
They send down the kills, basically, right? They're just, they're like,
They call the shots.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like an underground government society that's running everything. It's your stereotypical
Evil
conspiracy.
villain. Yeah. Umbrella Corporation kind of thing. Yeah.
They're called the High Table, and they send this Judicature, and she goes to Winston, tells him she has 7 days. Winston's not having it.
No, he's pissed.
And all I can think of Ian McShane now is that stupid fucking scene in Hellboy when he's like the ghost monster. That's all I see now.
No,
That's
don't
all
do
I
that.
see is
Don't
him
do that.
floating
Erase
like
that
a
from your
genie.
brain.
Yeah,
Erase it.
floating.
God damn, we got to watch Men in Black. I got to have one of those.
I know, dude. It's
Flash
fucking
things
every
for
time I
you.
see him, I just think of that little sperm body of him.
God, that's so sad.
Just floating there. It's horrible. But yeah. But she tells him vacant, and she also goes to Lawrence Fishburne.
Mm-hmm.
He's hobo. He's a hobo guy.
Yeah, King Hobo.
He's king of the hobos,
He
and
is.
and we also see Jason Mantzoukas at this point too. He plays a TikTok man. He's the guy that's telling John that his time's almost up. These homeless people.
And I thought he was going to have a bigger role. Like in the very beginning, I thought they were kind of like showing us, oh, hey, he's going to have a big role. When he was like, time's almost up,
It was
John.
more of a cameo for
Yeah, it
sure.
was more
I
of a
heard was
cameo.
because Jason Mantzoukas, he does a podcast called "Why Did This Get Made?"
Yes.
and they just review really shitty movies
Yeah.
and talk about. But he made a running joke on there that it'd be funny if he was in a John Wick movie, and that's why they let him in.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
someone saw that, yeah, and they're
Yeah,
like,
that's
yeah,
cool.
for sure.
Well, because he could play a good villain, I think.
Yeah,
think he'd be
he's
a
good. I like
hilarious
him a
villain,
lot.
Where it's like, he's serious, but in a very comedy way. Where it'd be a good mix, I think,
Oh,
for
yeah.
John Wick, because it's
Yeah.
believable to a certain point. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I think
it'd
he'd
be
make
funny.
a good villain.
I don't think he could fight.
No, he could not do stunt work, but I mean like Kingpin. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, for sure.
like
But,
John Wick gets to him at the end and just shoots him, kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Lawrence Fishburne, he plays the Bowery King, and he
Bowery
runs
King,
the
yeah.
Bowery. He's the king of the Bowery. And Lawrence Fishburne, he's so awesome. He could be king of anything.
He can
I'd
be
make him
king of
I'd make
whatever.
him king of the world. He seems like he should be a king.
I think
But,
so too.
But he's awesome. So he's and she's telling him that he's got 7 days too because he helped John also.
Correct.
And again, he's not having it. He's saying no. He's saying
Kind of freaks out. Kind of explodes on her.
because he kind of built the Bowery. I'm
He did.
guessing.
He is the Bowery.
He is the Bowery. Yeah, yeah. He says that she can't, and she just says, "Okay,
Listen, pal.
you had your chance."
Yeah.
yeah.
You shit the bed.
And she just walks away.
There are
Yeah.
rules.
There
Without
are rules,
rules,
and that's very important to her.
yes,
You gotta follow them rules because if there's no rules, it's chaos.
exactly.
And you gotta have the rules. But yeah. So she's making her round, and she's also staying at the hotel at this point. Also,
yeah.
yeah.
Room 217, I believe.
Yep.
Yes.
So she's giving out her, and at this point she also hires a hitman who goes by the name Zero. And he's got a bunch of fucking students, and he's cool, and it's a cool kind of sushi scene.
I thought that was cool too. Like out in the middle of nowhere too. Like it's
Yeah,
so
and
funny that
it's
assassins.
so awesome. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this world of like it just bouncing in and out and popping up, and it's all this underground where it's like, well, obviously because we're watching the movie, but if you were just a regular person, you'd never know.
You'd have no
You think it's a
idea.
hotel, you think
Yep.
it's a sushi place. Really, everyone's a fucking assassin.
Yeah.
Even the guy fucking chopping your vegetables. Because now
Ends up
running through
being
the
an
streets.
assassin, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about. Yeah, we got to talk about all the scenes of because they send him after because before John Wick goes to he gets in a fight, the knife scene and everything.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the gun scene when he's putting all the guns together.
Yeah, that was a
I
great
like
scene.
that. That
yeah,
was
he was
really
piecing it
good,
all
too.
together
Yeah.
to fit the bullet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then the first guy busts through the door and boom, he
Boom,
got
he
it
fucking
right in the
red
nick of
deads
time.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was a cool little western kind of
Nod.
nod for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
Yeah. But
And yeah, they do that quite a bit in these movies, it seems like. giving
for
nods
sure.
to different things, like the Bruce Lee thing we just brought up, and now it's like
Yeah.
a nod to Western.
And if you're
films.
fucking in this movie for the reloads and everything, which some people I'm sure are coming to see, then you're gonna love him. He literally builds a gun in this one.
He does, yeah,
He
yeah.
literally pieces together a gun from multiple other guns to shoot someone.
Pretty impressive.
And it's a great fight scene with all
is.
those guys with the fucking knives. And it's brutal, too, with stabbing them in the head and everything.
Yeah,
and it's,
very much so.
And just getting knives thrown at you to death. You're just getting stabbed to death.
It's terrible.
He
It's a
throws
miserable way to go.
He throws like 13 knives in one guy. He just keeps throwing them in him from like point blank. It's a shitty way to go.
Yeah, not the best.
And he
There
sees
were some real big reactions in the theater though when shit like that was going down. People were like, oh, you know.
yeah,
Like,
oh
Regal
yeah, for mine
theaters,
too.
Man, they
oh
are
yeah,
pretty, as the kids would say, lit.
oh yeah, they're fire.
They're
bro.
pretty funny.
They're
man.
fire.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
was freaking out. I was getting vocal. I mean, when I saw those things, I was going because it's so fucking awesome. It gets
It
you
was.
pumped. It gets you pumped.
It
I don't
does.
care who you are. You're watching those movies and you're ready to take on some ninjas for sure. You're ready to fuck some people up.
I'm ready to go fight the guy in the parking lot.
Yeah,
What,
apart the guy
what?
that pulled the dickhead, man. You're ready to go. But so he fights you that, and I think he runs into Zero at this point, but they don't really fight or anything. Fast forward, John, he's in Casablanca, and they got their own hotel and everything too.
Yeah, they do.
It's awesome.
Mhm.
They got them all around the world, and of course, again, it's just building this world. And they got Casablanca Moroccan assassins, and they just use knives. I think. I don't
Pretty
think they
much.
have guns.
I didn't see a
They're
single
using
gun.
old fucking rusty knives. I do,
Yeah.
man. These are assassins.
on a budget.
Not a lot of Morocco, but so awesome. It's so awesome to shoot in Morocco. I mean,
Oh hell! Oh, they
not a
actually
better
shot
place.
in Morocco.
yeah, dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was literally. This is how these movies go. This is what I heard in an interview with Keanu Reeves. He's like, I just had this vision of John walking through the desert, and they just wrote it in. So they're like, yeah, that's it. That's how the idea started. Was he had an
Wow.
idea of him just walking through the desert, and they're like, okay, let's do it in Morocco. They added Halle Berry in, so it just comes from that stupid idea from Keanu Reeves.
That's badass. So
Yeah,
that they're able to put that whole thing together based on that.
just
idea.
on that, just because he thought it would look awesome, and it did look awesome. But he walks through the desert for like 20 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
It's not long.
No, no. He finds his destination pretty quick.
Yeah, but he goes to Morocco and he meets it with Sophia.
She's not too happy, not too thrilled to
And
see
who's that
the
played
man. Oh, Halle Berry,
by? Halle Berry, who's
Catwoman
also
herself.
yes, her best movie.
Best movie.
Who is
I do
also,
feel bad for her because she is known as an action star, but when you have movies like Catwoman, you
yeah, but
know,
no
it's
one
like-
ever brings up Catwoman but you.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you're
That's fair. And I've been bringing it up recently.
Halle Berry has literally been nominated for Oscars, and you only ever bring up Catwoman. I mean, she's been in great
No,
movies.
007's really good.
She's been. Have you ever seen Monsters Ball with Billy Bob Thornton? She plays a very serious.
No, I haven't. I don't
It's
think I have.
a fucking brutal movie. But yeah, she's great in that. I mean, she's a good actress.
Oh yeah,
She's
no,
been in tons of
definitely, yeah.
She's great in the Flintstones. If you remember that,
Great
she plays a
movie.
secretary.
Yes, yes.
That's my first encounter with Halle Berry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As a kid, I bet you had some weird feelings.
Oh yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
wish I was a caveman. I'll tell you that much. And he meets up with her. Yeah, and she's in her 50s too, and she's doing a lot of the stunt work
She's
also.
in her 50s?
Yeah,
Wow.
she
That's
looks
impressive.
amazing.
Did you hear she broke her ribs doing this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she did it. She wanted to do everything, and Keanu said that he's like, it was crazy. She did everything.
Well, yeah,
She-
and that's kind of my point, though. Like, she is an action star. She's known for that.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
she's
I
a
even heard
go-getter.
she was fucking training the dogs at one point.
That's
She's,
crazy.
yeah, she's doing everything.
That's insane.
Those dogs were awesome though. Man, those dogs were
yeah,
awesome.
they were cool.
I want a pair of little killer dogs.
Yeah, so do
little
I.
kill dogs.
Some nice dogs that just end up killing for you.
Man, that's not a way you want to die. Not getting ripped apart by some kind of weird German Shepherd desert breed.
Yeah, no, thank you. I thought the way they added the dogs was cool too.
Yeah, they
Like, it
didn't use them
it
too much.
No, not too much. Where it was like, okay, what are these fucking super dogs here?
Yeah, exactly.
It
We're
was just
robot
enough where it
dogs,
made
yeah.
sense. And then like Halle Berry would come through and shoot the guys in the head, and John Wick would do the same.
Exactly, and it wasn't them just killing people. Like the dogs never killed anyone on
No.
their own. They eventually, because it takes a while for a dog to kill.
To kill a human,
and to kill
yeah.
a grown man, it's difficult.
Exactly.
For a dog to kill a kid, It happens.
It
I mean,
hap-
it's a lot easier.
And it can be a lot
But for a
faster.
grown man, you don't hear a lot of grown men getting
No.
attacked by dogs and dying. But yeah, so they meet, and apparently they were like ex-partners or something. Him and Sophia, right?
But yeah, they're sealed through a blood pact.
Exactly, and that was the marker.
The marker, yes, that he grabbed.
And that meant that because she promised to do anything, and that's because it was like because he did something for her, or he got her daughter out.
And
Yeah.
now he still knows where the daughter is, but she doesn't want to know.
No,
Yeah, that
because
was a good scene.
Because she said, yeah, was very dramatic and great acting, and because she said that she wouldn't be able to not go find her, and that'd be probably dangerous for everyone. But eventually he ends up going to her old like handler or something that's played by Braun from Game of Thrones.
Yes, Jeremy Flynn.
Yeah, Jeremy
Yes.
Flynn. He's doing an Italian accent in this or something.
Yeah, something different. Definitely something different. I didn't know exactly what it was, but it was something.
Yeah, but they need to go talk to him because he might know who the leader of the High Table is. This guy, I mean, he's got to be close up to God.
Oh yeah, he's mystical at this point.
Yeah, for sure. And he gives him some cryptic shit, tells him to go follow some star in the desert, which could be anything. I mean,
I mean, what are we looking for? The Christ child? What's going on?
yeah,
here?
it could be anything. But John takes it. He's pretty desperate at this
He
point.
is.
And before this knowledge, of course, this piece of shit. I was wondering, what is he gonna do? What could he possibly do? He wants the dog.
Of course,
He
as a
wants
gift.
one of the dogs.
As a
That's
gift,
the one
understandable.
thing she probably would have slept with him.
Yeah, I think she would have.
I think she
Over
had.
giving a dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she says no. Of course, she's not gonna want those beautiful
No.
dogs.
And he
Those
goes, well,
purebreds.
if I can't have it,
Then no one can. Bad
boom,
move.
shoots her.
Luckily, the dog's wearing bulletproof vest.
He is, luckily. And he goes,
Which is so
it was
cute.
Just, yeah, it was.
I'm
it
gonna buy that
was.
for
I
my dog. I
know,
need
you
them. My
should.
little
Yeah.
bulletproof vest, little Kevlar.
Where's Coda?
Put a little bulletproof.
Put a little bulletproof vest on her. She's looking at me like, why the fuck do I have this on? Who's
Why
ever
are you
gonna
shooting
shoot
at me?
Yeah, why- you are a really irresponsible dog owner at this point.
But yeah, and that pisses her off. And,
Yeah.
and it's a cool scene. It's awesome because John immediately he's like, "Don't do it."
And of course she does.
Yeah, because she hit a gun in the fucking
Mhm. In
Kevlar
the-
vest
yep.
in the dog. It's smart.
Very smart. But you would figure you'd check that. Wouldn't you?
I
Maybe
would
not.
assume the dog is carrying heat.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not
you know,
patting down
maybe.
a dog.
Yeah, maybe
it's
not.
bizarre.
Yeah, I guess.
It's bizarre to even hide a gun with your dog. You're not thinking that. I gotta pat a dog down now.
Like, what are you paying me for here? Huh? It's fucking ridiculous.
I'm a
You're
henchman,
paranoid. You're
okay?
fucking
I have
paranoid.
morals. I have. I
God.
mean,
Come
yeah.
on, man.
This isn't a Disney movie. I'm not petting down a dog.
You're
But
good
anyways,
enough for this.
so she just eventually shoots Braun in the dick.
Yeah.
Which
And the
is,
dog follows.
yeah, and the dog
Yeah.
starts and he chews on the dick too, and that's a
does.
bad thing. And
Bad combination.
a giant and the building that they meet at is like the forge or whatever it is for money. That's where they're printing off the gold tokens that everyone has.
Mhm.
So it's probably like Fort Knox
Oh, yeah.
security.
Oh, definitely.
And they
Highest
do
class.
have to kill quite a few men.
Quite a few.
And that's exactly what I'm thinking. I was thinking, man, you start shooting there, that's going to be a lot of guys. I'm thinking, there's no way they're going to be killing all these guys. They kill
They definitely
all
did. They
those
killed all
guys.
of them.
Every single guy, except for Braun, ends up living.
Ironically enough.
Yeah.
How did you like his performance? I personally thought he did a really good job.
I thought he did good.
I liked him
yeah.
as a villain.
He was great.
It was
yeah.
good. He
great
was
little cameo.
charismatic.
Yeah.
It was different than Braun. From
Yeah.
Game
Oh,
of
for
Thrones,
sure. Yeah.
But it was still the actor.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like it was still part of him. Like you could tell he had changed up the character, but
Yeah. And I
it was
liked.
still true to like him.
I like that character too, where it's. Again, you just wonder, he's like this Italian out in the desert. He's ahead. I mean, he's obviously very high up. You want to know his backstory.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's very charismatic where he's the point where he knows he can't be touched or whatever. Like Braun. But he does end up getting shot, and he is going to have to rehire a lot of people. He's going to have to do a full staff
Yeah,
rehire.
that's tough. You're going to have to use ZipRecruiter.com, which
Yeah.
that is the sponsor. No,
It is.
no, it's definitely not. No, not a sponsor.
Someday they'll fucking pay us.
Yeah, someday.
We're always trying to get that ZipRecruiter money.
Come on, Zip. Figure it out.
We drop them every
Sponsor
podcast.
us every podcast for free. That's probably why they don't sponsor us.
But talked about just a great choreographed fight.
Yeah,
is
definitely.
this fight in this fucking complex with the dogs running and going back? I mean, man, it was insane. It was nonstop. It was long
nonstop,
time,
and
too.
it was so well timed and
so
put together.
entertaining, too.
Yeah, it was. And again, I talk about some of the minor things that we held disbeliefs. Like, there were a few shots where I was like, okay, come on. You're trying to tell me they could not have attacked him by now? You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like when there was like 4 guys and like one's like getting up a little too slow, and I'm like, okay, I get they were trying to choreograph it, but at the same time, it looked so fucking good that I was able to be like, I'd forget it. Like almost instantaneously. As soon as it would be a thought in my head, it'd also disappear because I was like, man, this is so cool.
Yeah, there's so much
So, like, it
going
was-
on where
yeah.
it's so, I mean, you have to track so much that you really don't even think about those little things.
No.
But it is, I mean, it's still, I never had a problem with it where everything I saw, I mean, they're just all getting their ass kicked, and he's taking on 5 guys at a time.
Mhm.
But it's like, yeah, you got to work, I mean, it's going to be just a big dog pile if you don't, you got to space them out.
Oh yeah, you have to.
do. And they were sprinting through this thing the entire time trying to get out of there. But
Yeah.
but with the choreograph with her and the dog walking between her legs and everything like a canine would. I mean, like a
real trained dog does.
yeah,
They do that.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And her staying by them or her side until she tells them to attack or whatever. Man, it was awesome. But yeah, a great fucking fight. And eventually she goes out and she leaves him out in the desert. Right.
Well, because the pact is done. The
Yeah.
blood oath is over. And I thought that was a funny moment where she fills up the dog bowl with water, and then she takes a drink of the last one and spits the water back and says,
Into the
"Well, you
bowl,
better
yeah.
get on your way, John Wick."
Which is tough because he probably did need that water.
He probably what?
He probably did need that water.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Yeah,
You're walking through
you
the
know,
desert, you don't know. I mean, I get it. It's funny, but it is a bitch move.
Yeah, it is.
He most
It is-
likely was
it is
going to die
real-
out there.
Yeah, come on. Have a little grace.
But yeah, he's walking through the desert, and we get the scene, the shot that Keanu had to have, and it's a cool scene. I mean, it's something from New York to the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
You never knew you were going to go there with John Wick.
No.
But yeah, we get there, and he just keeps following the star, and he does what he does. Eventually, some guy in a camel, as they do, wander in the desert.
Yes, often, and they're always at the right place too. All things considering,
He
They're
follows the
always
star
there in
on,
the nick of
yeah,
time.
and like the 3 wise men, it leads him to Jesus, essentially.
Yes.
This guy's got to be high up. I mean, for one, being out in the middle of the desert and keeping up track with, he's got to have great internet connection
I would assume.
because he knows everything about John.
Yeah,
I mean, he knows
everything.
he's been following along, and he's in the
I
middle
mean,
of
is
the
he
desert.
streaming this live? Is he watching street
He's
cams?
getting
Does he
feeds.
have an editor
He's
at
getting a
home?
feed. I don't know.
A real goddamn good producer, I tell you.
You got to
that much.
think this guy's essentially the head of the Illuminati. He's got probably alien technology.
that we can't even comprehend.
No, he
Some
runs
mind
this guy.
reader
This guy runs the world. He's like a sheik or something in this. He's not very old either. Kind of.
No, he's still pretty young. Still pretty young, all
Pretty
things
successful,
considered.
to be honest. He probably had to kill the guy in that.
Quite a
was in
few
front of
people.
him,
Yeah. You got to do what you got to do. Be the top guy in the world.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
And
no.
but he finally meets him, and this is the guy that's head of the high table. This is the guy that runs it all, and he asks why he wants to live, and John says to carry on the memory of his wife. He's still doing that thing. Still
Still can
let her go. Yeah.
let it go, man.
But and that kind of, I guess, gets the guy emotional, and still I think the guy thinks, okay, well, you got to keep this guy. He's powerful.
Yeah.
And again, the whole deal is, okay, but you work for us forever. Right.
Right. So he's resworn back into the League of Assassins.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And he's got to cut his finger, do some kind of blood ritual, as you do in these kind of things. And he's back in with one catch. Who does he have to go kill?
Winston.
He's got to kill Winston.
Yep.
His 7 days are up.
And it's time to get killed.
Oh, yeah,
It's
for
time
sure.
to do some killing, John Wick.
Yeah.
You're back in the game. Here's your first assignment, bud.
Yeah, not much time off.
No. Not a
And,
lot of PTO in the assassin life.
No, not at all. So he's got to go kill Winston, and he's got to work for the High Table until his death to show his commitment.
Correct.
Oh, and he cuts his finger off.
He does, the wedding ring finger.
The wedding ring finger.
He hands it to
that's
him,
sacrifice.
leaves
It's
it
not.
for him.
It's not only a cut; it's a finger.
Yeah.
As long as it's not those shooting fingers.
Yeah, those trigger fingers.
Trigger
yeah.
fingers. You got to keep those bad boys.
Yeah, you do.
But
Could you imagine if he's using his fourth index finger to try to trigger?
Yeah.
Cut off his. That'd
Oh,
be
that's
too
tough. That's a tough
real
shot for sure.
yeah.
If anyone can do it, though, it's John.
It's John Wick, yeah.
And he gives the ring to the Elder, and that's the guy's name is the Elder.
The Elder.
And that's a big deal.
It's a big moment.
Yeah, and he's always gonna have that little ring now. And I'm not sure what he's gonna do with it.
You know, I don't know. Maybe
may wear
melt
it.
it down.
He may wear it.
Make a necklace.
I got a
something.
feeling if there's more, he's gonna end up getting that ring back at some point. If there's more John Wicks.
Oh yeah, they're 2021.
I know they already and they were saying this was the third. This was the last one.
Well, here's the thing. Did you see the box office numbers?
Yes, did
They
amazing.
Spent, yeah, they spent $55 million. They're already at over 180
Oh
million.
yeah, I know.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's insane.
So why not keep making them, you know? And Keanu Reeves, he's got to love doing these. This is literally what he wanted to do his whole life.
He does, but I think they are really tough on him.
Oh, hell
I mean,
yeah,
I think
they're exhausting. So maybe he does take a year off.
Well, because I always thought he said that was the last one. So
Would you want to see any more?
hell yeah.
Okay.
At
So
this
then-
point, they haven't
but
dipped
see-
in quality.
No, not at all. Not even in the slightest.
No.
The only thing that I did not like, and I don't know if, and I don't want to skip around too much, but the fall. I'll just say the fall.
Yeah,
I thought it was too much. Because how
Well-
do you survive that?
because he's John Wick. He's John fucking Wick. No one else could survive it. I mean, you may be broken up, but no. I mean, I just think it's just
he
because
felt
it's him.
like 30 stories.
I know, dude, and he hit a lot of shit on the way down.
know.
He hit everything.
I
on the
know.
way down. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, well, I think like any human, no matter how much will you have, is splattered on the concrete. you
Well,
know?
he's broken up. I don't know, man. Yeah. You got to think he's almost fucking supernatural at this point.
He's got to be, yeah. There's something. in
There's
him,
something else
special.
driving him, and that's
Maybe
it's-
maybe in
it's-
John Wick 7, we come to find out he's AI.
Well, it's the love of his wife. It's powering him somehow beyond, and that love of that goddamn dog.
He loved that dog, man.
beautiful
This guy
dog.
gets. If we know one thing about John Wick, he gets attached quick,
Oh yeah.
and he'll kill you for it too.
So and I love that they brought the dog in this one too. His dog and that dog
Yeah.
luckily stayed alive for the majority
Yeah, that's good.
for the entire thing. But
That dog is on a better streak than the last.
so they go back to the Bowery King, and the adjudicator, she's walking around with Zero and his ninjas, his fierce ninjas.
Yes.
And I didn't even talk about it, and I don't think you've seen it. But the two ninjas, are from the best action movies ever from Thailand, The Raid and The Raid Redemption. Have you seen either of those?
No, but I recognize both of those guys.
because they're both in Star Wars also.
That's where. Okay, that's where I
Yeah.
recognize
It's
them.
what's his name? It's they're like the best choreographers of all time. You have to see The Raid and The Raid 2 Redemption if you like action movies and you like John Wick, because those movies.
What years were they?
They were a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
Because those movies directly influenced John Wick, for sure. And that's why they brought them in, these two guys. I can't remember. I used to know both of their names. It's, one's is Yan Yan, and the other one's Chep Chep. That's both of their, these little tiny guys from
Yeah,
Thailand.
they're very short. I
And
noticed that in the
they're,
movie.
they're black belts in both these Taiwanese fighting
Oh yeah,
style.
Chep Chep.
Yeah, and they're both black belts in this Taiwanese fighting style. So they're both like real fucking badasses in real life. And they're great choreographers. But
Star Wars, the Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
where
think they
were
might
from.
have did some choreographer work with them too. On the behind the scenes. But yeah, so they're going, but they go back to the Bowery King. They go back to Lawrence Fishburne because he's got to pay a price if he's not going to quit, right?
Right.
Well, I think they're going to make him quit anyways. On top of getting sliced.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, he's got to quit. He's got to leave.
Yeah, so now he's
And I thought
saying-
he was fatally killed there.
Again, I think everyone did.
Yeah.
Because he takes 7 slices, right?
And you see a lot of blood hit the floor.
7 days for 7 slices. Yeah, and Zero does it. And it is fucking, it's so cool. Everything's cool in this
It
movie.
is cool.
But him just getting sliced up, man. And he did some bad cuts.
No, yeah, pretty deep.
And
deep wounds.
before this, and Zero also went and they found the director also. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, they did.
Because
They
they're
broke
going
in
around.
there.
They're going around to everyone that's helping John, and now she's got an unbelievable. The Judicator has a force to be
What did
reckoned
they
with.
take from her?
They,
Wasn't it an eyeball?
Yeah, I can't remember. Some kind of sacrifice or whatever. They had to do something, or did they kill her? They might have killed her. To send 2 buses. I can't remember.
No, they didn't kill her.
No, they just.
I thought they just took like an eyeball or something.
I can't remember either. I can't remember. But they do go, and they do something to her. I can't remember. But they immediately knew that she helped John or whatever, and I guess they knew that they were coming. But so they do that. John comes back to the Continental, right?
Yep.
After Lawrence Fishburne got all cut up, and it's a cool scene when they're walking through the Bowery or whatever that is, and they're fighting all the homeless people, I guess, and they're just killing everyone.
Yeah.
But of course, they're not really homeless people. They're like eyes and ears of the city, and they got stacks of cash too. They're very rich.
Quite a bit,
very rich,
quite a bit of cash.
So they arrive, and then the Judicator goes back to Winston and says, "Time's up. You gotta get going."
Abdicate your throne, dude.
And he says, "I don't think I'm gonna do that.
No.
It's just not for me." And
then she looks over at who?
she looks over at Zero.
No, she looks over at John and says, "You're gonna kill him."
Oh yeah, because I forgot. Oh,
Yeah.
because they both. We didn't even talk about we gotta talk about the horse scene.
Oh yeah, the horse getaway.
We gotta talk about
Yeah.
the horse scene. Oh my god,
That was
dude.
something else they did really well throughout this. Is they were just every chase seemed different. There was
Yeah.
one on a motorcycle, one on a horse.
Using the horses as a weapon, even that how outrageous that sounds, it worked. It worked
And I
out.
could feel all like the people in the theater get real tense when all the gunshots were going off with the horses. No one
Yeah.
wanted the horses to get shot. It was funny. No one gives a fuck about the 120 people dying
No.
on screen. But man, people were freaking
But
out
those
about
horse
horses.
kills were brutal.
Yeah, they were.
Guys just getting kicked in the
Kicked in the
fucking
face,
head to
yeah.
death. But going around using the horses as a fucking weapon was so it was
It was
funny.
pretty
It was,
funny, yeah.
but it's funny and it was awesome. It was cool and it was brutal. I mean, it showed people get kicked in the face, and that is what I assume looks like when you get kicked in the face.
Yeah, I would say that your face goes in.
Yeah, but he gets away on a horse, and then eventually he gets on a motorcycle,
Mhm.
right? And they
And then
chase him
there's
out on a
that epic
motorcycle, which
chase,
is which again is Keanu Reeves on a motorcycle. That's
course.
Keanu on a motorcycle. That's got to be the scariest thing of all time, right?
Yeah, I would say.
I mean, that's insane. Why would you be risking that? Why are you not? I mean, if he falls on a motorcycle, he's dead. And they close off that whole bridge. I mean, that's where they filmed it. They did the whole scene of the fucking getting stabbed and the choreograph fighting on a motorcycle. I don't like
Crazy.
it. I don't.
No, I think it's pretty dangerous. I mean,
It's
you know,
something
all
I'm
things
not.
considered.
I don't look. For
I don't even
it.
like to be on a motorcycle.
No,
let alone
not alone people
fighting
stabbing
on a
at me,
motorcycle.
yeah.
That's tough. That's really not my cup of tea.
So the Shinobis, he eventually takes all of them out. And I love that scene when he steals a motorcycle when he's walking out of the building and he sees a guy coming and he just runs and tackles the guy off the motorcycle.
Oh,
It's
yeah. Yeah.
such an awesome scene. Like that's how you're gonna get on a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you gotta do it. But yeah, it's a lot better than him just running up and pulling the guy off a motorcycle like you would see in like people are just loosely
Right.
on-
Yeah,
no
like,
one's grabbing it.
No, you're not going to pull me off this thing.
I know, but every time, like, and even people like jacking cars, no one's ever like.
Even with the
you
big
just
helmets,
pull-
they always do this. They're like, huh?
Yeah, and they
as they're
immediately,
getting
but they get
thrown
pulled
off.
out so easily. The one-handed, he just tackles, flying tackles.
He
That's how
jump
got it.
tackled. Yeah. That was with some force.
Yeah, but eventually he runs and he dives onto the Continental because that's like
It's you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Tag.
when,
you know,
exactly
where
when
the
you're playing
save-
tag in your
yeah.
home base saying, "Bitch, you can't
Yeah.
touch me," and then
It's
and
exactly
someone would
what I
get that
thought.
close, and I'd get so mad, especially when you're and you get that close to tagging someone, and they touch the home base tree or
Right.
whatever, and you can't
Yeah.
tag them. All that work for nothing.
And it was
But,
so funny too because when the concierge guy comes out he's like the teacher who's like, nope, the rules are the rules. He's in the safe spot.
Lance Reddick,
you
who
know?
fucking kills it as the concierge.
And we got to see him fight this time too, which was fucking awesome.
Finally, because you always assumed he was this fucking badass. You got to be a badass to be the concierge
of the hotel, yeah.
Because he's
You're
like
essentially his right hand man.
You're essentially the
everything.
bodyguard of the building.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to take out the trash when it happens. Yeah. So he stumbles onto the Continental, and of course, Lance Reddick, the concierge, he kind of likes John. I mean, he really likes John.
Oh yeah, he likes John.
And he says, "Well, you got to follow the rules no matter what, even if he's out of it, or even if he's excommunicado, I guess." Well, didn't it come in by this time that he's not excommunicado?
No, not anymore.
Yeah.
No. Because of what he did with his
sacrificing finger, yep.
Sacrificing the finger.
And
he's back in the
re-saying he's back. He already pledged his allegiance.
That's why he was able to go back to the concierge and do the home base thing, because he was not excommunicado anymore.
So they do that. He stumbles on there. Then in a funny scene, him and Zero, the guy who plays Zero, it's, what is his name? Mark Dukakis, who's awesome fighter. But it's a cool scene where they're like, he's just pretty much gushing about saying how happy he is to be fighting John and what an honor it is to be trying to kill him, and how
he's like a super fan.
Yeah. And it's just not what I expected at all.
No, not
because the building up to that, he's this big badass guy. He's going around stabbing everyone.
Well, yeah, and he's all about honor, and he's very serious. And then he's like, "Hey, how's it going?"
He's got a perfect American accent. I mean, he speaks perfect English too. I thought he was gonna be like a thick Japanese accent.
Right.
He speaks perfect. He sounds like a surfer almost.
It's hilarious. Yeah.
But he's like, "What an honor!" And they sit next to each other because because he's going to go talk to Winston, or he's going to go kill Winston, right? Mm-hmm. That's at this moment he's going to go. And they take him to the glass room, which is a fucking awesome room.
Yeah,
man, it's awesome. But man, when I was watching that, I was thinking that must have been so hard to shoot in. No reflections. I mean, you can't get the camera in the reflection.
No, you have to get a very certain angle.
The glare off everything. Yeah, that's how
it's post. It's
that
all
must
in
have been
post.
a headache to fucking shoot. In a room full of glass, but man, it paid off.
It paid off
so
brilliantly.
Cool looking.
It looked awesome.
And that's what you want to see: fucking ninjas in a glass room.
Oh hell yeah!
They're still hiding in the shadows. Yeah. Man, it's awesome. But yeah, so he arrives and he says that he's not going to kill Winston. Right? That's basically the gist of it. He's not going to kill Winston, and Winston's not going to give up his.
And the educator is not happy about that.
No, she goes back up to her room and she says...
No, she doesn't even go back up to her room. She makes the phone call right
there. Yeah.
She goes,
shut it down.
Shut it down, and the Continental is now ex-consecrated.
Yeah, and that's a big deal where they got to go get the file down, and they got to do some stamps, and now it's and now you can do whatever.
And now you can do whatever business.
And she tells Zero, to bring a bunch of guys.
Because it's about to go down.
It's about to go down.
About 5 minutes.
And what happens after this, the fight scene, what follows this is just 30
minutes of chaos.
30 minutes of chaos, and it's some of the best fight scenes. With them being bulletproof.
Yeah.
And him having to constantly shoot just to
and
like
try to find the
him.
neck every time with him.
It was so good. Man, it was good. It was awesome.
It's really incredible. They're able to piece all of that together like that. It's
and
so
him
cool.
with the guns, and him and Lance Reddick having to go back to get the shotguns.
Yes. Because they were armor piercing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And man, it was just a brutal fucking fight scene. Brutal. A lot of blood, a lot of gore, heads getting blown off. I mean, it's heavy stuff.
It is.
I mean, he's shooting him with a shotgun. I think it's supposed to shoot down tanks.
Yeah, I think so. And I like the fact, too, that they put the body armor on John Wick.
Yeah.
Because then it makes it more believable when you see bullets ricocheting
exactly,
off of him.
Yeah. And even when he gets shot, though, it's like, it's hurting him.
Yeah, it still hurts.
He's not just taking bullets. And he doesn't get shot very often, but when he does, you could see it's fucking hurting. Because
Well, like when Halle Berry shot him.
Exactly, yeah. Yep. Yeah. But, so they go through the fight scene, and they bring in like 30 guys of like some of the best hitman or whatever. They're like a SWAT team or whatever. And they bust them in. They shut down the whole goddamn city, I think. Eventually, John just goes through them. And they shut down the whole thing, and it's an awesome scene with like, it's almost like a neon light just going throughout the entire thing.
Yeah,
that was
the
the
neon
only
green
light.
on the
That was
center.
the only kind of light of the entire thing. So it was, and they threw smoke too, so it was really awesome, really well shot. And they fight, and he ends up killing all of them. Eventually, they
get to the two students moment.
The two guys from the Raid and the Raid Redemption, Yan Yan and Chep Chep.
Yes.
These little guys, they're like 5'3".
They're very short, but man, they are good.
The tag team duo, man, you do not want to take both of them. And those fight scenes of them just kicking his ass.
You know what it also reminded me of? Like, really? It reminded me of almost a video game. Like, I wish they'd make a John Wick video game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
When he was ascending, it felt like levels. Like the base level and then level 2.
Yeah.
You had to fight the two bosses, and then the final level was fighting,
Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love their fight scene. They're fucking, because he's so tired at this point. But and they're talking back and forth, saying how old he's gotten. And
he's losing his step. He's slower.
They're not killing him immediately. They're
toying with him.
Because again, they're like big fans. It's like.
It was more like a game, that whole fight. But again, when it was set up that way, it allowed them to do so much more with that fight scene, I think.
Yeah,
like, and just take crazy risk and chances, because it was kind of like a game to them.
Because there was that mutual respect of they were both the best of the best. So they're like, okay, we're gonna do this right, and they do. It was just the hands. Yeah. So and that made it so where you could just keep it going, keep it going longer and longer, and and they beat the shit out of him at the start.
They do, and they could have killed him a few times too.
Oh, for
had
sure.
they not toyed with him.
And and there's one great scene where they throw him through that glass, and he kind of
7 times,
and he kind of stumbles to get up, and they offer him a hand. He's like, no, and he gets up, and he walks away, and he finally gets his fucking belt out. We finally see the belt action. The belt came in big.
It did.
I don't know what he would have done without
Someone should have took that thing away from him.
Oh yeah.
You got to take the belts away from John Wick.
But it is such a long fight scene that I was exhausted at the end.
Just watching it.
Yeah.
Seriously. Well, that's what I thought throughout this whole movie. I'm like, holy shit. How tired were they after every single day of shooting? Imagine doing that 14 hours a day, 5 days a week.
But they're like crawling after each other at one point, still beating the shit out of each other. And he does not kill them. He doesn't kill them. No, he doesn't. So leaves them up for...
No, but he says the famous line, right? I'll be seeing you soon.
Yeah, I'll be seeing you soon. Yeah. That's what he tells everyone. Yeah. And and they eventually fall through the glass, but it's a really long fight, and eventually he comes up tough. Just the heart, man. You gotta have the heart.
Gotta have heart.
Heart's gotta be in it.
Man, if John Wick would have been a fighter, an MMA fighter, man, he'd be champ.
He'd make a lot of money.
He would be.
But eventually, like you said, the final boss, he's got to take Zero on. And they start out with fighting. Well, he eventually before he fights the two guys, they start out with swords. But once him and Zero start fighting,
those like short samurai swords.
Yeah,
those were cool.
Little katanas.
Yeah, katanas. Awesome. Yeah, duh. There you go.
But so and then they were fighting, and they kind of go through a ninja thing where John's kind of reversing the role, and he's backing out in the shadows, and now he's kind of hunting the guy, and it was very cool.
It was cool, sure. And the mirror trick too was cool.
Yeah, and that guy is such an awesome fighter. The Mark Dukakis, whoever he is, who played Zero. The choreography was amazing, like it is in the entire thing. But they have an amazing fight, and eventually it doesn't work out too well for Zero. John ends up getting the upper hand, and he doesn't.
Yeah, he shoves that katana right through him.
Yeah, and I love that when he's getting out, he's like, I just need to catch my breath. He's like, I'll be back. And John's like, no, you won't.
Yeah,
he knows. John knows when it's fatal, and having a sword through your chest, it's hard to bounce back from that one.
Unless you get the super lucky story where it's like, oh yeah, pitchfork went through a man, he's still alive.
Yeah,
very rare, very rare.
It's
9 times out of 10 you're dead.
Yeah, and it's a great death. But he won't be in John Wick 4.
No, definitely not. No, he is no longer with us.
No, and he calls off, and he kills everyone. They eventually call a parlay. That's what they call it.
The old famous parlay, where we all meet up again.
We all meet up, and you're not allowed to kill anyone. So they call, and eventually they end up convincing her that they're probably not going to win this, and to let Winston have have the ship back, or let him manage the hotel, right? And that's close to how it ends.
Yeah, manage the hotel, but something happens.
Yeah. What?
Right? Doesn't he? Doesn't Winston say no to that?
No, he says yes.
Yeah, never mind. No, he says yes. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay, now I'm back. Yeah, and then that
Yeah.
moment he turns on old Wiki Boy there.
John, and I think it was leading up to it, even at the start when they first met in that room, when he's like, "You only meet in this room when you want to know what your enemy's holding." So I think that meeting that first meeting meant
Right.
that they were enemies.
Yep.
Because he turns on John and he shoots
does.
the old bulletproof vest,
Few
or
times.
the shoot times, and John gets fucking brutal, man. He can't catch a break.
He can't.
He can't catch his breath.
Not even his breath. No, that's a sad thing. You're on to one task, on to the next.
And he falls
150 feet?
150
At least?
feet.
I mean,
He's 30
holy
stories
shit.
up at this point. He hits, and he does not. It's not a smooth landing.
No, it's not.
He takes some hits on
He's
the
hitting
way.
rails. He's hitting
It's
a lot of
brutal,
shit,
dude.
Garbage cans.
He's
not-
probably. I mean, he has broken bones for sure.
Yeah, no, he's not. Yeah. I mean, he's not in good shape.
No, for sure.
If he
but,
is in shape at all,
he
it's
does.
not
He,
good.
the slide off the roof did help. That took him down a couple stories.
It did.
Hit one railing. That slowed you down. Unfortunately, it's not the kind of slow down you want.
No.
But yeah, and they go down there, and he's like, and they say, "Yo, but he's fucking gone." Right.
Mm-hmm.
But
Winston seems to be just fine with it.
and he didn't, and like, but you said you kind of had a problem with this, but he doesn't. He didn't move. I mean, he is still alive, which is crazy. But he didn't get up. Yeah, which
no.
I'm just remembering as
The homeless guy picked him
TikTok
up.
man,
Yeah,
Jason
TikTok.
Mantzoukas. He throws him in the cart, and he just at this
Brings him
point
to
he's just
King
a pile
Bowery.
of bones.
Yeah.
He's just loose bones.
All mangled up, just in a cart.
And he takes him down, and now fucking Lawrence Fishburne he's the sewer king.
Yeah, he is.
He's the penguin now. He's a super villain, and he's like, he's got a cool. Now I think he's getting the Morpheus Matrix band back together.
Exactly. And now he's tired of this. He's tired of the high table.
Yeah.
So
So
now, if we do see another John Wick, this sets it up for the rebellion against the high table.
exactly, and that could be the last one. I mean, there's no more people to kill at the end of that. Because if you're killing the people at the high table, then that's because they stabbed him in the back. They said he was back, and then they ended up trying to kill him. So he's got nothing left. It's him and Morpheus.
We might as well kill them all.
Him and Lawrence Fishburne.
I'm shocked we have not heard a Metallica song in this. Kill them all.
So I mean So I think we are going to get a break after this one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you said 2021.
2021.
So not a
and
huge
that's
break.
About 2 years. But he'll take the rest of 2019 off.
Yep.
And then probably start filming 2020, put it together by 2021. It'll be a summer release. We know
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
So it'll be in June, July, or August of 21.
Yeah. So, and I'm guessing this fourth one, it's not going to follow, like they've all followed directly after.
Mhm.
I don't think
Yeah,
this
I think
one's
it'll
going
be
to
a
pick
little
up.
bit of time.
Because, I mean, honestly, you got to recover at this point. If he is just bouncing right back after that,
Right.
he is some kind of Terminator.
Yeah, exactly. He's AI. He's
a
artificial
killing. He's a
intelligence
killing
for
machine.
sure.
Yeah, so you got to check to make sure he doesn't have wires running under his skin or something. But so I think that next one maybe we'll get even an older John. So maybe he will just be fucking grizzled.
Yes, and weathered. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. He's gonna be living in the sewers for a while now.
He'll have that grayish black beard. He's
Yeah,
growing
he'll be the
down
fucking
there.
rat
Yeah,
king.
exactly.
He'll be living with Lawrence. They're probably bunking together. But yeah, that's how it ends. That's the end of it. Fucking John Wick 3.
What'd you think?
It was a thrill ride, man.
It was awesome.
I absolutely loved it. It's everything you want in a summer blockbuster. It's just so much fun. It's just one of those where it's like I compare it to where they're all I think they're all very similar quality, where they're all very good. I don't know if this one's better than any of the other one,
Mhm.
but they've all kept that quality. But it's just
Exactly.
one of those that's just so much fun to go to. It reminds me of going to seeing Mad Max Fury Road, where it was just so much fun to go to, and it was like actually riding like a roller coaster or something. Because that's what it feels like. You're really involved. But I loved it. It's everything I wanted and more. and I could probably load a gun now easily.
There you go.
I could probably
And
build
if you
a gun.
learn something, that's the most important thing,
probably-
right? You know.
But what do you think about it, Mason?
Dude, I love this. I just started watching John Wick, and I don't know how I've missed the ball on this for so long, but I'm glad I'm all caught up. These movies are awesome, dude. They're just really cool, and I appreciate the time and effort they put into it. And you can tell with each one of these movies that they genuinely care about the work that they're doing. And I know we brought that up before, but I think it's an important aspect to talk about because you can tell like these are passion projects with these guys. Like that takes a lot of work, time, and effort, and they put it together really well. And they're not shitty movies. They get 16% on Rotten Tomato. They're well thought out. They got just enough plot to make it work. I don't know. It's awesome, and I'm glad to see that Keanu Reeves is still doing work and still like kicking some serious ass in the process.
Oh yeah, 54.
This is the most consistent thing we've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
Keanu Reeves in like doing other than The Matrix when they filmed him back to back.
Or Bill and Ted. Yeah,
Bill and Ted. Yeah.
No, he doesn't choose the best movies. Not even close. But exactly. He's a guy that you just want to exceed. And like you said, it resonates when you care about the movie you're making.
Exactly.
Some people do. It's so obvious. Some people doing movies just for paychecks, and you can tell when someone really likes what they're doing and really it's a passion for them. They care about it and they make better stuff.
Exactly.
When you care about something, you're gonna make better stuff. So why not only do things that you care about? I mean, why do anything else? But like you said, I can't wait. I can't wait to see these pair do other stuff, or just this director do more stuff and everything.
It'll be cool moving forward.
Oh, for sure. These movies, they came out of nowhere and they're just, oh man, they're so good. It's just, it comes down to caring about it. I really think that's what it is. And Keanu, no matter what, he's like, I don't want to compare him to Nicolas Cage, but no matter even how shitty the movie is, he's going to give 100%.
Definitely.
Because he's one of those guys where he's one of those actors where even if the movie is ridiculous, he's going to give it 100%. Just because he's that kind of guy. He's not going to half-ass anything like a lot of people do, but he cares about it. He's someone I'd want in a movie. Well, all right, Mason, what are you going to give it? What are you going to rate it?
Dude, as far as action movies go, I mean, how do you not if we were just categorizing this in the action category, I mean, how do you not put it in the A's, right? I think overall, story-wise, majority of it made sense, which is really hard to do. In a movie that has so much action, it's really hard to do that.
Oh, yeah.
To, like, have a clear-cut, concise story. But they do it, and they find a way to do it, too. And I sit back, and I watch this, and I actually enjoy the action tropes that they put in here. I love them. They're not campy. They're not stupid. They make sense with the plot of the movie. I think this is an overall awesome franchise. I gave this my only little gripes about it was at times with some of those shots it was kind of like they're kind of taking their time. But again, that releases as soon as I'm done, as soon as I'm watching it, and then the fall was tough for me. That was tough. To be able to survive that, I just don't see that happening. But
he's a tough guy.
A-, man. I thought it was great. A-.
I love these movies, and I'm right there with you. I give it a A-. I mean, if you're gonna pay $10, the outrageous price that a movie ticket is this year, this is your bang for your buck.
Exactly. And that's the thing too. I'm gonna go back and watch this
absolutely
on a big screen.
Oh yeah, you gotta watch it in something loud, something with
Dolby
good speakers,
Atmos or something.
Because this is a movie, But you bought all three, or you bought two. You bought two of them.
Yeah, I'll buy the third.
You're gonna buy the third one?
Oh, of course. You gotta buy the trilogy. And it was just as good as the other two.
Oh, for sure.
So it's man, it's worth having that trilogy.
Oh yeah, it's one of those movies that you want to own, for sure. Well, all right.
All right. Well, follow us on YouTube, guys. Type in Have You Seen It? Have You Seen It Podcast. Go to channel. We're the second one down, Angry Popcorn. You can find us on Twitter, Seen It Podcast. Cash is on Twitter. That's just Cash. Instagram, Have You Seen It? You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere you can find podcasts. Feel free to like and subscribe. Leave us a review on iTunes. Leave us a comment on YouTube. Like our videos. Get involved. We always hit you guys back up. Thanks for listening again. And until next time.
Bye.